Hey, you, let's fight.
Them's fighting words.
Welcome to Fightin Words Podcast, episode 6 for June the 2nd, 2024. I am your host, Devious Dave Rose. And as always, let's start off the show by showing our gratitude and appreciation for all those who have chosen to spend their time with us here today. And we have It's Steve Callan in the chat and a few more people watching, but not making themselves known, and that's perfectly fine. But let me also continue by saying that I do apologize if my energy level is not as it's normally high, just for the fact that the last 4 days or so have been quite the whirlwind for me. If you are, one of the lucky few that is on the super secret server on Discord, don't tell anyone, super secret, you'll probably know the reason why. Maybe I'll go into that later, maybe not. I want to just keep this to wrestling talk. And I don't know, there's a lot of people bugging me to do a drama stream, maybe. But we're here for business, and that's wrestling. It's professional wrestling. So we've got a fair bit of news to go through today. And, let's just get right on into it. So where's my list here? All right, let's start off with the amount of actual wrestling that occurred this week. With AEW Collision, a 2-hour show, 63 minutes, so approximately 53%. AEW Rampage at 36 minutes, which is 60%, obviously a 1-hour show. AEW Dynamite, 52 minutes, so 43%. SmackDown had 40 minutes, so about 33% of the show. 1/3 of it was dedicated to wrestling. The rest of it was talking. And WWE Raw was at 53 minutes, which is even lower than SmackDown at 29%. Also, I saw a lot of people tweeting, or I should say posting on X, as we have to say now, that apparently this last SmackDown was really shitty. So take that as you will. I'm not surprised, but, it is what it is. So in total, of those 5 shows that I just mentioned, 5 hours for each AEW and WWE. There was 151 minutes in total of 50 hours for AEW and only 93 minutes in 5 hours of WWE. So an hour and a half compared to more than double that. So, yeah, WWE going back to, I guess, what works for the casuals, because that's what I've said. And really focusing on talking and, I guess, storyline than AEW, which is this past week of AEW not only has shown that they're great at storytelling, but it's just been an amazing week of wrestling with Double or Nothing on Sunday, that blew my mind. I'm thinking I'm going to have to possibly give it a 9 out of 10. It's one of the best pay-per-views I've seen and one of the best that AEW's produced. And it clearly was, in my opinion at least, the best pay-per-view of 2024 so far. We still have All In Wembley, so we'll see what goes down. Pardon me while I smoke this bowl here. And then NXT had 41 minutes of a 1-hour show, not too shabby, about 2/3. TN Impact had 55 minutes, and ROH had 36 minutes. So put things in perspective, and I think that's important when we're discussing professional wrestling. Does WWE do a lot of sports entertainment? That's what they're about. But again, we're talking about wrestling, okay, our love of wrestling. So let's get into the news here. Let's start with the WWE, as always. TNA is now working with WWE, as we've seen recently, and there is some speculation that WWE will potentially buy TNA, but we'll see how that produces, or how that proceeds, I should say. I have another note here. about that. Oh, yeah. So we obviously saw that uh, Jordan Grace was, brought in with NXT because they knew that AEW was about to do their Forbidden Door, and obviously AEW planned that first, and they've been doing just amazing work with the Forbidden Door and that partnership with NJPW, just awesome stuff. And they basically, the WWE did it because they knew that the dumbest part of their fan base was going to fall for it. And yeah, it's funny because the negotiations for this crossover and such with TNA indicates that there's going to be more WWE stars that will be interacting with these individuals, but we're going to see what kind of talent WWE is willing to part with to work with TNA, as opposed to TNA sending their best to NXT of all places, the lowest of the tiers. So yeah, there's that. What's the next note here? The WWE is planning to introduce a new women's belt for NXT, 2 new women's belts for the main roster, the Speed title, obviously, and there's talk that the TNA belts will show up more on WWE programming. But it is funny when you consider that people have been whining about AEW having too many belts. WWE already had too many belts, I think. And when they did it with the most recently with the SmackDown champions and the tag champions and the Raw tag champions, it's just like, wow. And then, they win both of them. It's just like we're going back to what it was before, where they just unify them and it is what it is. So just comical that they would, again, people would cry about AEW, and yet they do this sort of thing with WWE. So there you go. There's a nice graphic that will represent that sort of mindset of these individuals. Now, getting to more serious news of WWE, the Southern District of New York has actually filed a notice of appearance for Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant. And this usually doesn't happen unless the Southern District of New York is confident that they can convict someone, because their current conviction rate is 95%. And essentially this means that, Vince McMahon certainly is in a heap of trouble. And I have to tie it, because I was discussing this the other day with several people, but I do have to tie it together with what's going on with Trump. Speaking of which, a video I made 2-3 years ago was struck by YouTube. I can't say certain things about certain people, even though we all know it's fucking true. Yeah, so because they were allied, because you had his wife, highly involved with the Trump administration, regardless of the trash that we know that has been going on in the background with WWE, this really, to me, seems to be indicative that this is politically motivated, for sure. And again, remember, it's the city of New York that went through that farce of a trial. And, well, it's funny because I made a few statements online, and I got so many of these idiots fucking responding to me on Twitter. Just wait until I show them, because they're fucking hilarious. These people are so fucking stupid. And yeah, the graphic is perfect for this. Going on, it was also announced recently that the current main roster minimum salary in WWE is $350,000. That's not too shabby, even if you have to be away from your family most of the year and such. I mean, they're certainly making good money. They've also got protections, and they don't have a union, which McMahon punished other people for trying to pursue that. But, they've got good health care and so forth. And, well, it is what it is. I don't know why you would work in a toxic environment, personally. And because really, would you endure that and get paid that amount, or do your morals actually matter? So, something to consider. So it looks like Fightful Select has stated that of PWN, that they've confirmed that, or with PWN, has confirmed that Ricochet's WWE contract is set to expire this summer. And Will Ospreay did recently come out praising Ricochet and hoping that he would be able to wrestle him, soon. So I don't personally see Ricochet going to AEW. There's quite a few, actually, contracts that are expiring with the WWE, and there's a lot of speculation as to whether or not they're going to sign with AEW. And all this desperation from these drones stating, "Oh, of course they're gonna try to sign this person, but it's never gonna work," and like really dumb takes this week. Actually, I was telling someone the other day, this week has been almost as bad as WrestleMania week with the cultist behavior and the dumbest fucking takes. And I'll be showing screenshots of those, because I got to say one thing. Reviewing and just shitting and exposing these idiots with their tweets and shit is the second most fun that I have throughout the week. The first being watching the wrestling. But, oh my God, do I enjoy this aspect of this show so much. Just finding the stuff, laughing my ass off, and then deciding, okay, which ones am I going to show on the show? Because it's fucking grand. All right. Speaking of contracts expiring, Natalya has been offered a new WWE deal, but as of this past week, no confirmation that she's signed it. And now Becky Lynch is a free agent. And she had been planning to go for a break for a while, and that didn't come together. So it's expected that she's going to just be taking time off. There's a low chance of her signing with AEW. The amount of money that would require to beat WWE's offer to Becky Lynch would cut in too much with the other stars that they're currently signed with, or that they want to sign with. And personally, I don't think Becky Lynch should be in AEW. She's, with her husband there in the WWE. And I don't know. I personally think that the AEW women's roster is absolutely stacked. They could make accusations, but it's not accusations, sorry, acquisitions, but I'm happy with the way it is. I mean, there's a lot of stories to be told, and really, you've already got Mercedes Moné there, and she's obviously a big star. Just let it simmer. All right, with TNA news, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Robert Evans, who's one of the key guys on the creative team, resigned this past week, and other key people have also been let go. And there's currently nothing on the schedule past, August 2nd and August 3rd tapings in Tampa. Makes you wonder what the future is for TNA. When it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling news, one of the wrestlers' evils demanded for stipulation was accepted, and his challenge to Jon Moxley for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship title will actually be held in a lumberjack match at NJPW Dominion. We're going to jump to some crossover promotions. NJPW is actually going to be working with CMLL at Fantastica Mania, Saturday, July the 13th in San Jose. And CMLL is also in their promotion using drones to actually capture footage. And I've got to say, some of the work that I've seen just is quite impressive, and it frees the limitations of conventional cameras to allow for some really good fucking cinematography. So I'm actually quite excited at where this can go. All right, let's get into the AEW news. Leo Rush actually returned to AEW with last night's episode of Collision, and he was quite well received. I enjoyed the match, actually, and I believe it was last he was there was 2022, and there seem to be a lot of people that are happy that he has returned. He's not signed just yet, but he's been granted that opportunity to wrestle, and let's see where that goes. All right, there are contracts expiring in AEW. Arn Anderson's reported that his last day was May 31st and that he was leaving after his contract expired to go help train his son, Brock. And he sees that there's a lot of potential to teach him, and he wants to focus, the time that he has right now specifically on his son. So that's a good thing. Don't believe what the bullshit that some people have said, where it's just like, oh, well, they were offered contracts, but they refused to re-sign. No, their contract expired and nothing came up afterwards. The same thing with Mark Henry. Jake Hager's contract had also expired at the end of May, and he's currently rated a free agent. But he wasn't offered. Again, these people weren't offered contract extensions. The contract ended, and they said, well, we've got nothing for you, basically, or your plans, our plans don't include you for the time being. So it's just the nature of the business. Jeff Hardy's contract is also set to expire in mid-June, according to his brother Matt. And I think he's done well in AEW. He's certainly well received. When he struggled with substance abuse, AEW was there. They gave him as much time as he needed. They were very supportive. So was the roster. And he's done good work. So we'll see if they offer him a renewal. And if that's the case, if he chooses to re-sign it, I can kind of see Jeff Hardy choosing to go to TNA so he's with his brother. They certainly have great history in there, both of them. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's get to Edge's injury, because at Double or Nothing, in his match against Malachi Black for the TNT title, the final portion of the match is he wraps Malachi Black with barbed wire onto a table, and he jumps off the steel cage. He landed poorly on his leg and has confirmed that he fractured his tibia. So let's play this clip from his own words. And let me just get this here for you. Shout out to the 6 viewing. All right, hold on. Should have had this loaded. Yes, I know. Oh, stop. There we go. There we go.
Hey everybody. Oh Lord. There's no filters that can help this thing. I look like a bag of hammered peaches or something. Anyway, Double or Nothing. Flew back yesterday. Malachi Black. Dude's an animal. All of the House of Black. They're just
that was a great match
really,
too. I'm going to be
really
going through Double or
good.
Nothing card as well as the
And
rest
as
of
you're
the
about
week.
to find out in this video, I guess the house always does win because I gained 2 new friends. I don't really like them. They're kind of like those buddies that just annoy you, but they're always there. I don't know, maybe I'll name him Brody and Buddy or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I've been feeling really good lately. Been having so much fun in the ring, and I got cocky. I guess, is what it really boils down to. And I'm probably a narcissist and egomaniac, and I'll unpack that one day. But yeah, my brain forgets what my body always seems to remember. A little late is that I'm 50, and I need to make better choices. So my body pulled the emergency brake on me the other night, and I ended up fracturing my tibia, which is going to require surgery. Don't know the time frame on that yet. Ruby's birthday's Friday, and I really want to enjoy that and focus on all the positives that I have in my life, because there's way more that than the bad, and even this surgery. I know what I got to do. I'll find out the time frame kind of next week and everything. Yeah, sorry, don't really know what I'm going to say. And I'm still half asleep. But so pardon the appearance and all that good stuff. Anyway, I will see you soon-ish. And in the meantime, everybody good. Try and be happy. All right, see you.
So, sadly, he's out for an indeterminate amount of time. But even Gangrel, who appeared on Double or Nothing, great spot. He came out and he said, yeah, when Adam decides on something, there's nothing talking him out of it. He was going to do this regardless. And it's unfortunate that he got injured. Could the spot have been better that he didn't? Possibly. I don't know. I'm not a wrestler. But this is one of those things that just happens. And we just have to roll with it. But all the best and a speedy recovery to Adam Copeland, the Rated R superstar. So where's the next point that I was going to make here? Speaking of Adam Copeland, it's funny, though, because some people have come out this past week, Frankie Kazarian being one of them, talking shit about AEW, saying that the inmates are running the asylum. This is after his contract was not renewed. Remember, there's renewals, and then there's, no offer. And this really is pointing towards the influence of the WWE and his potential or eventual, return or collab with them, as all these other people who have been talking shit about AEW recently are clearly being revealed as under Legends contracts or having some dog in the fight sort of thing. And plus, they've been clearly instructed to do this. There's no coincidence. Shout out to King Meow Meow in the chat, the one and only Danny MT, and it's the man with two first names. Thank you for joining us. But back to the whole thing. Adam Copeland is considered in the backstage of AEW a locker room leader, and has been perceived as being doing a lot more than actually was expected of him. And we know this with other legends, if you want to call them that have come in, unlike CM Punk. He claimed it. It's not true. But to try to actually help the young talent, to build them up, to put them over. And yeah, this guy's experience, as well as how, they adore him. The people in AEW, the wrestlers, they adore this guy. And because he's given so much to them. He's certainly well respected there. You don't need a news report for this. We know this. And, he's appreciated, and, he's been such a great addition, I think, to AEW. But more importantly, he's having fun. That's the way I see it, too. And you see with all these other wrestlers, Will Ospreay, you could totally tell that this guy is just having the time of his life. But for these older guys, even Sting, for example, for these older guys that can still go and they still have that fire in them, look at Christian Cage. He's done so much to push forward AEW, to give legitimacy to the TNT title, and just to put on great stories. Next on the list here, Double or Nothing did an estimated 133,000 buys, as per Wrestling Observer Network. Moving on with AEW news, they apparently scrapped plans in AEW that had Big Bill turn on Ricky Starks, which would have made Ricky Starks into a babyface. But Yeah, that's a guy that we discussed last week whose contract probably won't be renewed. And, this guy obviously knows that he could go to the WWE. In what capacity they'd use him, it's anyone's guess. But, I can see him doing well. Speaking of which, I think we talked about this last time, but Ethan Page was cited on TNA, and he's also been cited on NXT. And all the AEW fans are quite happy for the guy. And it's not the case for WWE drones, but, AEW sometimes doesn't renew these contracts, and people say, well, you know what? I would love to see them do well in another company. So now some big fucking news when it comes to the TV deal. Not sure if anyone follows this with such scrutiny as I do, but yeah, let's get into this. But before we do so, let me just have a quick swig and smoke a little bit of this bowl here. Gives me time also to catch my breath. All right. The TV deal. The one that people said wouldn't happen. The one that people are thinking that AEW is just going to die, but they've been saying that for the last 5 years. Right now, there's figures that are being thrown around from highly reputable individuals that are thinking that WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, is going to offer a minimum of $110 million a year. And there's some people commenting, but possibly more. Okay? So a 5-year deal at least $110 million per year brings you up to $550 million. So that's $500 million in 5 years. People are talking about these figures and saying that by boosting them up to $110 million a year or more, and that there's a lot of emphasis on the or more stuff, that this would bring AEW into a consistent, profitable range. Currently, or for the past, obviously, 4-year deal that we've seen occurring, it was only $45 million per year. So, and that whole deal was worth $175 million. So from that to $500 million, you're certainly seeing obviously more than double that's being offered, and they are really making inroads, and they're certainly garnering a lot of attention recently. I can't remember what the show is called in the NBA or something. Sorry, Shaq's on there, and there's a few other people of prestige, but they were all given by the Young Bucks, I believe, replica titles of the AEW Championship, and they were just gawking at them on the show, and Shaq was saying he was going to take it to the hookah bar, so that they're clearly getting exposure, and there's still talk apparently that Warner Brothers Discovery is trying to secure the NBA deal. And, that seems to be already out the window. The reason being is that the president, Warner Brothers Discovery, may lose a lot of face from losing the rights to get the NBA. So they're trying a lot of things, and they're open to keeping a large, or some sort of sports catalog on their show, and that obviously includes wrestling. So people were, the drones, the dumb people, were saying, oh, well, like, this is not a good thing. NBA is off, and it's not like they're going to have more money to pay for AEW. They're losing money and stuff. But again, they're boosting it up to this point with the AEW deal, at least the speculation for it. So these people that doubted that it would be possible that Warner Brothers Discovery would have more money lying around to maintain that sports portfolio on their channel, clearly shows that that they're ignorant and just don't think these things through. Now, where's the next point here? There was an estimated buys for Revolution at 180,000. Dynasty was 115,000. Double or Nothing at 133,000. So a total of 428,000 for all three of those events. So at $50 pop relative, per pay-per-view purchase, you're about looking at $21 million in revenue. So they know that they can make money, especially because not everyone can get to a show, and I like the ability to watch a pay-per-view from home and not have to buy stadium food and all that sort of shit. Deal with that. So Chris Jericho has actually stepped down as commentator on Rampage, and he says he's going to be spending more time on Dynamite and Collision with about 3, 4, or 5 segments every week, so that should be interesting. But to replace him is Mark Menard, and people have actually been enjoying that guy a lot on commentary. He's a funny guy. He can wrestle, too, and he's Canadian, although he's French-Canadian, so there's minus points on that one. But still, he's still in the black, not the red. So it should be interesting moving on to see how Rampage, does. But anytime he's been on the commentary, I think it's been quite enjoyable. I think he adds to it. There's been discussion that AEW is actually doing some production cost-cutting measures and cutbacks. But this does also come from rumor. And you start to see that some of these rumors, when you know that they're rumors, they have this bias that it's always consistent with all these other supposed statements. Because I just talked about the money deal, right? The TV deal. That's almost guaranteed to include streaming. Because AEW also came out, ahead of... Maybe they shouldn't have said this. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. They're kind of telling you without telling you. They got to say this stuff just because it gives confidence to the network. But they said their catalog is going to come out as a digital library in 2025, no matter what. So it doesn't matter whether or not WBD, who needs content with Max for streaming content, okay? These streaming services are desperate for content, and they would rather buy it than actually have to produce it themselves. So already Tony's created a 5-year catalog of clearly the best wrestling, we've seen in a long time. So he's got that now under the belt. And people were again, saying stupid shit and speculating that he wouldn't be able to pull that off and that nobody would, sign the deal and such. But he already has all this stuff ready to go. And like I said, he said, either way, 2025, our stuff comes out on digital, on a streaming service. So I'm excited at that, but I would love if I could buy, compilations of all the episodes on DVD. Like back in the day where you could have your library of VHS tapes, not just the special events, but you could literally record, every episode that you wanted to and just have them in order on tape and then have a whole library of tapes. What's next? Some Forbidden Door news. The card so far is going to be Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. We'll get to that in a bit. Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vaquer. That's going to be interesting. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. There's going to be a TNT ladder match that's going to determine the champion. And we know Jon Moxley is going to be wrestling there, but we don't know who his opponent will be for the time being. Sorry, some of these notes here are a little bit out of place. just a was it? It's just a pop culture sort of thing here. Basically, in 1989, on this day, No Holds Barred was released in the theaters, and it tried to obviously capitalize on Hogan appearing in Rocky III as Thunderlips from 3 years prior to No Holds Barred in 1986. And the movie actually debuted at number 2, behind Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That's kind of amazing to think about it. And I watched this a couple of years ago, I believe, after a long time. And the movie, first of all, the movie does not hold up. And the movie is just so terrible. But I like it. It's fucking funny. And it's just so bad it's good. But yeah, I remember how they tied that into wrestling and how Zeus was in the WWF at that point, and just their feud and so forth with Macho Man and Scary Sherry. Just great memories. But yeah, it's a terrible movie. I encourage you to stream it or watch it today. Just even if you're just looking for a laugh, you know. I'm gonna quickly go through the this past week in wrestling and the cards and stuff. I was actually not quite, but I was off on at least 4 matches, I think, on the results for Double or Nothing. So I thought certain things were going to happen. They did not. And it actually surprised me. And in some cases, I wasn't too pleased with Tony's booking decision. But I've already admitted this in the past that I've been proven wrong multiple times when I've second-guessed Tony. So he's got a good track record when it comes to me. And again, I'm speaking from experience. There's been times where he did something I was like, nah, I don't agree with that at all. Or I don't understand why you're doing that. And then a little while later, it's like, okay, well, I've been proven wrong. That's clearly the reason why you did that. And, that's why this whole aspect is being successful. So it's happened. And I've got to be honest. But, I'm going to go through this week in wrestling and just cover the cards a bit. I'm also thinking maybe I should do separate, just talk news on this show and, open the lines and so forth. But maybe review the cards of the week on another show. I don't know. I don't want to make it too complicated. I still want to give you, because it relates back to how much I enjoyed watching wrestling this week and some of these matches that happened, not just at the pay-per-view, but Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. Like Rampage, I think I'm seeing an improvement, a definite improvement with the quality of work on there, and it's making me want to watch. Before it wasn't the way. And I also, again, questioned, do we really need another show, Tony? We got fucking Wednesdays, beautiful day. Saturdays, okay, cool, because, Saturdays is the off day, right? Normally. You want to enjoy yourself, and, in the summer, I want to be out, not stuck to the TV, and this also relates to Tony talking about adding maybe a 6th hour to AEW TV. And I tweeted about this, got a lot of interaction from people regarding this because they agreed too. Is this that, if he's going to have to add another hour, make it on Rampage and make Rampage live. Simple. That would entice a lot of people to watch. People like live. And more importantly is that's the one where, okay, that's the one where you've got the most space to move. You make all 3 shows 2 hours. I never liked WWE going to 3-hour Raws. Never. I didn't like, just the, and that's because it's a weekly show. Okay, it's not like Double or Nothing, which I'm going to be talking about, where they went over at least 30 minutes. So they were 4.5 hours. It was expected to be 4 hours, just under. They went but Tony, already spoke to the pay-per-view providers and warned them this time, as opposed to the last time where they cut it off. on Revolution with Sting's goodbye in the ring. But he told them, no, we're still going. And the last match of the night, Anarchy in the Arena, deserved it. And it was just such a great fucking match. I think it's perfect also because almost 5 hours for what? The 5th anniversary of AEW. Makes perfect fucking sense. Okay? And it was just a fucking great pay-per-view. Again, I've got to give it a 9, I think. I mean, I think that's fair. And I'm trying to be critical too. I like the entire pay-per-view. Were some matches better than the others? Obviously, because that's always how it is. But just there was so much. I think there was so much for everyone. I think the last the last pay-per-view with Dynasty, that I think was really for aficionados. I think the wrestling quality that you got there and the sort of the fantasy bookings or the culmination to stories, certainly spoke to that. But this one, Double or Nothing, was just good all around, I think. And I just really enjoyed it. The post-show media scrum was fucking hilarious. You guys got to go back and just watch that. Just listen to it even. With Toni Storm, holy shit, does she know how to put on this character. And it always works. She's got it down. It's enjoyable. That's one I got right. She won that match. I could not see her. And I was so relegate. I listened back to the episode. I keep trying to justify the possibility, or at least humor the possibility, that Serena Deeb is going to win it. Because I know her technical skill and stuff. But that's not to say Toni Storm's not, very talented and technical as well. Styles are different. But there's also the storyline aspect and just how it adds more to the character. And I just couldn't bring myself to say Serena Deeb. So, I was right on that one. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to read out the this week. If anyone wants to call in, feel free to do so. I'll set up, so you can call me on Skype, Devious Dave Rose. I'll set up one of these Streamlabs things because you kids seem to like those. I hear Skype doesn't work for some people, so if you guys want to call during the, me reviewing the cards, feel free to do so. If not, I'm just going to review the cards. Skibbity bop doo doo. Skip for now. I'm not a fan of StreamYards, but some people prefer it, so really don't have an option for that. Okay, that should be good. Is this going to work or just continue to be stupid? This one, I don't like it. There we go. And it's so unintuitive, this stupid fucking program. All right, there we go. We still have to review the stupid people. Yes. I was wondering, should I do the card or the stupid people first? Oh, you know what? I'll review the cards. So basically, with Double or Nothing, the pre-show, actually, the buy-in was actually quite enjoyable. Oh, hold on. My stream is having issues of some sort. No. Buy-in pre-show was good. You had Thunder Rosa and Diona Purrazzo, sorry. And Purrazzo, I don't think there's any problem with putting that on a pre-show. It was actually a good match. So I'm also satiating my my throat here with some liquids. But all right, so Martha Hart came out with Tony Khan, and Martha Hart said that that world title shots should be offered at AEW All In at Wembley. That's from the finals of the tournament for the Owen Hart Cup, which is going to be held in Calgary on July 10th, so next month. I'm not too sure what I think about this. Some people might call this criticism. That's fine. Again, I'm just examining the product, and it's an interesting turn of events. I didn't expect it. Do I think it needs it? I don't really do. But I had an idea of how the year would be booked and such, and things are clearly off now, so I don't know what to expect. And sometimes, being a smark, it's nice to be surprised. So, okay, now I don't know what might happen, or at least, what's probable. Let's see where it goes. But that goes back to, do you trust Tony Khan? If you don't, well then, who knows, maybe you'll never be happy. But I've been pleasantly surprised. All right. Double or Nothing results. Back to here. There's a great trios match between Acclaimed and the Cage of Anarchy with obviously Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. I enjoyed the match, actually. But yeah, basically the Acclaimed won. Oh, this is sorry, just scrolling down here, but this was I liked after the first match, right? Early in this pay-per-view, and this fucking match was great. So you had obviously the champion then, Roderick Strong. He went against Will Ospreay. Bottom line is, we know now, Ospreay won, and he's now the new international championship title holder. I'm actually going to get to some news about that in a second, but it was a really good match, and just Ospreay, he continues to amaze me. I just love seeing the guy work. I love to see the guy's happy. You can see that he's joyous. Tony Khan is a good boss, and he treats people well, and he trusts them. So you can see that all that weight, that doubt and concern that Ospreay might have or might have had, is just gone now. There's no weight on his shoulders. He's just there to be the best. He's already said that he can see himself working 15, 20 years into the future with AEW. That says a lot about the loyalty and the feeling of WWE drones. Start to talk about how they protect the product that treats them poorly as viewers. Just dropping stories from week to week, sort of thing. It's Stockholm Syndrome. I've talked about this in the past, and these people, again, want to be abused by the WWE. All right. MJF came out afterwards. There was Adam Cole came out, started talking. MJF made his return. We knew that he was signed since 2022. But the whole bidding war of 20, great fucking aspect of that character. And you got to see his interaction with Adam Cole. It was great. I popped, and everyone there popped. It was really good, especially because it started with a pre-recorded video, which is like a point of view of MJF going through his house to a room where he's got a bunch of stuff that's, that he used during his matches in the past. And check it out. Maybe I'll show you guys. I don't know. But at that point, I tweeted out I replied to a tweet that someone said, "This is great show." I'm like, yeah, they could have literally ended the show after Ospreay's win and then MJF's return, and that would have been it. That would have been a fucking great pay-per-view, because it was just fucking, the place exploded. It was just so well done. the match as well as MJF's return, his speech. And you know what? Maybe, yeah. You know what? I'm going to try to find that speech for you. It was well done, and it was enjoyable. Hopefully I won't get struck. Hello, browser. I'm going to the fly here. There we go. It's not the full thing, but this is storytelling. Just waiting for this Bollywood commercial to end. I don't know when I'm getting a Bollywood commercial. Come on.
See, he thought he took out MJF. Get the hell in here. I need all the camera angles. But he didn't take out MJF, no. All he did was wake him up. See, now I remember exactly who the hell I am. I'm the greatest wrestler on God's green earth! I am a generational talent! My name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it!
Stole my gimmick, kid.
But why is that, MJF? Pray tell! Oh, I will. Because unlike Adam Cole and all those schmucks in the Japan or a Vince McMahon, to make MJF because MJF made MJF!
This guy's fired on the mic.
To the salt of the earth, back to your regular scheduled programming, folks. No more ha-ha, no more friendships, no more kangaroo kicks, no more bullshit. Back to being driven by what I am driven by best, and I ain't talking love. No, no, no. I'm talking hate, hate, hate. And when your boy's driven by hate, nobody's safe. And you see this stupid mask? Masks are adorned by cowards who want to hide. See, I'm about done hiding. I'm about done being humble. I'm about done apologizing for the fact that I'm the goddamn best! No one is more complete in this sport than me. It is not my fault, ladies and gentlemen, that all your cute little faves in comparison to moi suck a big old bag of donkey dicks. To prove that no one is on the level. So this stupid, goofy, grotesque mask that symbolizes the tail end of 2023 and makes my stomach turn in knots. This dumb mask and everything it symbolizes can go straight to hell.
Really well done elbow drop there by Max. Take a look at him.
I'm all in. Double or nothing. So in regards to my contract status, as if it wasn't already painfully obvious to you stupid marks, no offense. To quote one of the all-time greats, may he rest in peace, cameraman.
Adam, Maxie.
Zoom. In AEW, you can call me the Wolf of Wrestling. Because I'm not fucking leaving!
Well, so much uncertainty surrounding the status of MJF. But that was a pretty declarative statement.
Well, when you tattoo your body...
Fucking gold. Fucking gold. Yeah, pay-per-view could have been. But, all right, so I got to, again, my focus is to get through this stuff so we can just laugh at the idiots, okay? Because that's one of my favorite parts of this fucking show, baby. So, had a trios title championship match, Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle. Well, basically, what's it called? So now their Bullet Club Gold is technically complete, and a lot of people didn't even expect this, so it was a cool return. Then there was the Women's World Championship match, Toni Storm versus Professor Deeb, Professor Serena Deeb, and Toni Storm won rightfully. Orange Cassidy went against Trent Beretta, and Orange Cassidy actually won. I did not expect that, and it was a really good match actually. But I thought that Beretta was going to win, but it makes sense because that led into the story that happened later on this week with Trent Beretta. There was the three-way for the World Championship, the FTW rules, with Chris Jericho, Hook, and Shibata. And basically Jericho won that, and he retained the title. I like the storyline that's going on with Chris Jericho. I know that he annoys some people, but he keeps evolving, and his characters are funny. Well, I think they're well done. They're thought out, and I like the really disingenuousness of the learning tree. I find it enjoyable. What can I say? I like the sideshows. But next match was basically it was an eliminator match between Jon Moxley and Takeshita for the IWGP title. I was wrong on this one. Moxley retained it, and we'll see whether or not he defends it at Forbidden Door. But maybe he'll face him again at Forbidden Door and lose it there. I don't know. It looks like the plan right now is to have Moxley carry that for a bit. So I don't know. But we'll see where that booking goes. Next match was fucking incredible. It was for the TNT Championship between Adam Copeland and Malachi Black. Gangrel appeared in this one. It was a really good match. It was enjoyable. It was bloody. they both fared very well. Malachi Black looked great, and well, Copeland won, but the day after basically had to relinquish the title. So I'm interested to see how they move forward with Malachi Black and the House of Black, especially with this, with what happened. Already, I think it was Buddy Matthews made a shirt, or he made a tweet with a shirt where it's just like, we broke Adam Copeland's leg or something like that. It was just funny. Or the house broke his leg, something like that. What's the next match here? TBS Championship match. Willow versus Mercedes, and as I called it, Mercedes won. That you have to just push that new product that you got. It was a good match, actually. A lot of people were praising it, but at the end of it, we saw Willow being turned on by Chris Statlander and Stokely. So it should be interesting how this feud proceeds. But Mercedes, is now the TBS champion. What else? Oh, she got really highly criticized. This is hilarious. This, again, the stupidity of these people. I think I've got some screenshots of this. But she went out to a party that she had planned. And she took photos and stuff. She was there with Tony and a few other people. And got criticized for it online by these e-drones. It was fucking insane. Shout out to the goon in the chat. MJF is the modern day The Rock. Difference is MJF can actually wrestle and is far more talented than Dwayne will ever be. No lies detected there. All right, so next match was, and there was, again, that was the first of the triple main events as they declared them for Double or Nothing. I said the same thing, I think, last week, where it's just like, that makes sense because it's like a fucking slot machine and stuff. You got those threes, and again, it's the theme stuff that they always do, guys. We like it. Because certainly people seem to like it in WWE with their themes and stuff. And they liked it in WCW, Halloween Havoc and all that. So it makes sense to have three main events. Second one was for the AEW Championship match. The booking was proper for this. You did not want the night to end on this. And the next match, which was Anarchy in the Arena, did not take away from the quality of this fucking match. Swerve going against Christian Cage, and obviously Swerve retained. Well, sorry. Yes, he retained. Sorry, I was getting distracted, but and he really again continued the story that he had been having with Christian. All right, so the last one is the Anarchy in the Arena. You had Bryan Danielson with FTR and Darby Allin. This was just so well done. It was so enjoyable. I don't know if you guys watched this, but it has to be seen. I saw it again, actually. Okay, so Sunday I end up going to sleep. Well, it was like, I don't know, 1 o'clock or something in the morning, and I ended up getting like 4 hours of sleep before I had to get ready for work and all that, go through my usual routine, and happy that I stayed up. I knew, again, it went over, and there's people complaining, oh, it's too long and stuff. You guys watch a motherfucking 3-hour show every Monday. I'm willing to do that for pay-per-views, even if it is a Sunday right before work, but, like every week, just to tire yourself out like that, like, no, it doesn't need to be that long. This pay-per-view did. So basically, those, Bryan Danielson, FTR, Darby Allin went against the Elite with Okada and Jack Perry. Jack Perry eventually gets lit on fire by Darby Allin with a flamethrower. Great spot. They also out a month ago where there's video footage of Perry actually preparing for this spot, and he is going through with the trainers for the stunts how to do so, and like they douse him with this flammable liquid. He's set on fire with a small fire, and he walks around like showing his understanding on how to deal with the flames and so forth, but still staying safe. And this is all public, so they hide it by making it look like he was of ice water, but that was the fire retardant, that they put on top of the flammable stuff. So, just they played it very well, and the crowd popped. It was a very enjoyable pay-per-view in my opinion. Am I having some streaming issues here? I guess it's okay now. But so enjoyable pay-per-view. What's next here? Dynamite. Let's see what we're going. We're just a little over an hour, actually. I don't have as much news as last week, actually. But, if people want to call in, cool. If not, I'm going to just go through this and eventually wrap up. I don't have any more notes to my knowledge. But all right, so and I remember watching the show and actually think to myself, like, damn, like this is just really enjoyable wrestling. I'm really enjoying myself watching AEW, and I enjoy talking about it and doing the show obviously to keep people up to speed, but also making fun of stupid people. But so speaking of stupid people, I want to get my animus up. As I explained earlier, I'm a little tired. But where are we here? All right. Okay, we talked about Adam Copeland, who again remains disrespected by these people who feel personally insulted that he chose to go work for a company that might be competition. If it wasn't, again, they claim AEW's not competition, that it's small fry, mud show, whatever, but they clearly do consider it competition if one of their old favorite stars goes and works there. So, he says, Edge has snapped his leg after jumping 20 feet from a cage and landing on his feet. Who thought this was a good idea? This also goes to speak about how much a company trusts in their employees. And, okay, well, the spot went bad, but in other times it hasn't. And, that if you're in a good situation at work, your bosses trust you. They don't keep questioning your authority or what the responsibilities they've given to you. And it's sad that, and we've also heard that Gangrel said this, I worked with this guy for a long time, and once he gets something in his head, he's going to do it. And then we saw Copeland come out and say, well, you know what, I think I've got to put a break on, my stuff. I got to remind myself I'm 50 years old and I shouldn't be doing things. So there is no fault here. And it just, again, this whole thing of pointing this out in this way is just, again, very revealing as to, because we've seen with previous tweets and stuff how these people act to those that go from WWE to AEW. What's this one here? Just waiting for it to pop up. All right, so, and then again, the disrespect, calling him Edge. So Adam Copeland confirmed that he fractured his tibia and will require surgery. And he's like, a 50-year-old man jumping from 20 feet high cage? What did he expect? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Not, hope you have a speedy recovery. Or I hope he's okay and reconsiders doing this again. No, it's just like, it's so malicious. And it's unnecessary. Next one here. Saw some bad takes from JD. Let's find this one here so I can see it bigger. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this guy here just like has nothing better to do to, tweet Tony Khan and be like, for cocaine addicts like you. And the whole running gag is that Rampage is for the sickos. And, that's just what the president's doing, But let's see this next one here. I don't know if my internet's having issues. I'm seeing some streaming issues on my browser here. The Goon says AEW should hire Scott D. Moore, or D'Amore actually, to run Collision as it's his own brand with an exclusive roster. PPVs can remain the same as those always deliver. Yeah, there's been actually talk. I can't remember who it was, an actual wrestler who actually came out. Again, it's been a kind of rough week. So I remember reading that and not adding it to my notes. But there was a wrestler who came out and said, yeah, Scott D'Amore needs to be hired by AEW. And again, something similar along those lines, Goon, as to that he should be given one show and let him do it independently from others, and to have that clear separation. I think that's important. I've always appreciated that when that's been done. Even in the WWE, when there was a clear distinction. Personally, I loved, guilty pleasure, I guess, but I loved WCW Thunder. I liked that it was on a Thursday. I liked that it was different from Nitro. You got to see, and yeah, they thought maybe it was a punishment for featuring people on that show, but I always loved the people that they featured on that show because you wouldn't see them on Nitro. So I have a soft spot for that, the underdog show. Yeah. All right, what do we got? Which is the one here that we got? There we go. So crazy how AEW fans hate the Fed, but that's where AEW gets half their ideas from. NXT champion female from home promotion gets challenged from. Look at this! Look at this bleeding. This is literally just. I mean, read it for yourself. I don't want to. It's just so dumb. Anywho. And just the hate. They don't realize that AEW is obviously causing them to realize there's better wrestling out there. Why else would they act in this emotional manner? This is a funny one. It's so the Ricky Starks part is interesting. If you've learned Tony speak from other interviews, I think it's only going to be fair to intimate that Ricky is gone. And this Max Power guy says, what a fumble. Every time they gave Starks a chance, he succeeded, and then nothing would come out from it. It was always for someone else. And the reply to that is, can't help but feel the company is very anti-anyone who wasn't there the day or isn't friends with Jericho or the EVPs. No other explanation for this type of shit. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Ricky Starks has made his opinion clear, despite the fact that they did try to push the guy, did try to help him out, won championships. But yeah, he's clearly not happy. He made that known well prior to his contract expiring. Goon says AEW has the talent, but their feuds aren't as significant. Some are. It depends, though. I mean, what would you call significant, and what makes an impact? Because Hangman and Swerve, I think that's significant. That history that's been brewing, even with Nick Wayne, that again for me at least shows significance when it comes to storytelling long term, and to be able to maintain that. Next one on the list here. Okay, so this is just comments about Dave Meltzer. I always find it comical because there's a lot of stuff that he says that can't really be relied on. But it's not like there's other people that get, takes right, all the time or even half the time. But he says that Punk's media scrum rant was intentional and practiced beforehand. It was apparent as he targeted Nick Houseman straight away with no questions, when no questions were asked, wanting to bury Colt Cabana. There's a lot of people that keep forgetting about that aspect to the whole Punk drama. He also noted that Punk was talking about Hangman Adam Page not doing anything in the business is false. Says the pay-per-view headline by Adam Page drew more than some of the ones Punk did. He adds Page has been a keen guy in building the company. So he's sort of going back on what he said. This is why you got to be... I thought, again, I like to give different perspectives and stuff, and some takes are wrong, even from people that are considered, stalwarts in the community, or at least in the news when it comes to wrestling. But it's good to see what's being said on all sides, and then to use your own best judgment to realize where the bullshit is. He went on to say that Punk had been a divisive figure and rubbing people off the wrong way in the locker room for a long time. See, this doesn't sound that far from the truth, because we've heard it from other sources. Telling guys to not do stuff that got them over and successful in the first place, preaching old business philosophies. He added that some listened whilst, like when that word is used, others didn't, which made Punk angry. And that, again, the guy is a petulant child. He never did grow up, sort of thing. Then he added that Tony Khan should have stopped Punk when he started burying his guys. Says the Bucks have done way more for the business providing jobs than Punk ever did. Well, that's true. Yeah, the Bucks certainly have. Could you argue nepotism? Possibly, but they're still fairly... I mean, I think their record, shows that that's not the case, but okay, I could see where it could be argued. But yes, I'll agree with that, where Tony Khan should have put a stop to Punk's bullshit from the get-go. Shouldn't let it go, more than a day and said, okay, look, either we resolve this or we just, can you? Next one up here. Is this a funny one? Read the prior message, Dave, says Lagoon. AW has a talent, or the previous one. Also, WWE didn't create the women's revolution in the U.S. That was Impact in the Knockouts division, to me. TNA has the best women's division as far as creative talent and storylines. Interesting take. Can't say you're wrong, but I don't necessarily... Well, some stuff I do. I mean, they did with their Knockouts division really create that. But as the best in the past, we debated. Yeah, but I appreciate the reflection. All right, so the next one here. Where is this one? Oh, there we go. So the biggest victims of the 4.5 hour long AEW pay-per-view was probably Chris Statlander, both of whom were the biggest stories going into Double or Nothing. Swerve's match in a vacuum was quite good, but won't be talked about enough because everything else that happened on that show. I think that's wrong. I think that was, again, it was a good match. And also, if you're booking this, it only makes sense to put Anarchy in the arena at the end. Due to the concentrates, they moved too quickly on Stat's heel turn and didn't let the moment breathe and feel big. I have to disagree. I mean, we got that, and again, but there's the counter argument where they're like, oh, well, it was too long, but there wasn't enough time for this to happen. It's like, well, pick one. You know, you can't go on for 10 hours, right? Plus, you've got all this ability to do these backstage promos to continue to let that story breathe, right? Just ridiculous criticism. Now heading into Wednesday, the biggest stories will be MJF's return and Mercedes Ospreay being new champs. Why shouldn't it? Is that not usually why you do this? Why you crown champions? And when that happens, not everything can feel important. Are you telling me water is wet? I mean, of course not. But if you watch the show and you watch the pay-per-views and stuff, you can appreciate it for what it is and what was given to you. This entitlement is just fucking insane. Next image here. Really is good for, analyzing people. This is a stupid take. So, Deadline Hollywood reports that Vince McMahon and the WWE officially under Department of Justice investigations for rape and sex trafficking case paused for now. And this genius, says the WWE part is because Vince was chairman at the time of the allegation. It sounds worse than it is. WWE as a business is fine, but we already know that the rot goes further. So, and the cost-cutting measures TKO is doing with the non-renewal of contracts, it says otherwise. And also, I've got a leaning suspicion that this is politically driven because of his association with Trump. It's not like nothing happened, because it certainly appears to be that way. And we have the history of people talking out about this in the past. So that can't be dismissed. But the timing, when they've had apparently this for the longest time, interesting. All right, next tweet here. Let's see how dumb this one is. Okay, so like either Vince McMahon is he doesn't exist anymore, he's been depersoned, or Southern District of New York has filed for a notice of appearance for the Janelle Grant case against Vince McMahon. WWE and John Laurinaitis was granted a stay, so a pause. And this guy replies, "Nobody cares, we are moving on." How quick they are to just sort of dismiss this. But again, it's that favoritism and that cultish behavior that we see here. What's this one? There's two of them here. The responses were funny. Oh, yeah, okay. So, so in response to what Wrestling News reported about this stay by the DOJ, this person, Adam, says, just straight up full defense. And you start to think, is this person maybe just a bot? Real, because we've seen a lot of bottish type shit. And it seems to match with these tweets, They've only got a certain number of views, certain number of followers, followees, and they just pop out when there's allegations or any sort of heat that's going their way. Yeah, so this other person says, in regards to Janelle Grant is because she is gonna lose, or she is gonna lose, and it's just straight up because these people know what's been going on in the background of WWE for the longest time, and they're just willing to just swipe it under the rug. They know it. Okay, there's no chance that they don't, and it's just sick. Next one here. Oh, we still got ones to get on my Twitter feed. I made some people mad. I mentioned that earlier, and I want you to see the responses because they could have done so much more. To be quite honest, I was quite disappointed, but these people are fucking retarded. Bullsy said it last week. I've been saying it. Like, it just, these people are just, the defenses that they put up for the WWE, or the attacks that they put out for AEW, because again, their motivation is WWE. They're so poorly thought out. They're so badly implemented that they're so pathetic, and they've got to be shown. You got to see this stupidity. So what do we got here? Ruin his body for that B-rated company is a shame. So he's talking about Adam Copeland. Didn't he literally break his neck in the WWE? And then this guy, says, "What about it?" And he's like, "What's the difference between this and that?" And he's like, "One is WWE. One is seen by 1/4 of its audience." It's unreal. I don't even know where to start to break that apart, because I could be hours just breaking down this sort of mentality, this entitlement, this ignorance of the business. Just so stupid. These people are fucking retarded. This was the report I showed earlier, or I talked about earlier, where they put out this fake information again, very clockwork, of this clear plan that has been going on against AEW. And you'd think they wouldn't do this if they really considered a secondary company that wasn't really competition, but clearly they do, and it just comes out clockwork. So that came out and was denied afterwards, and well, the truth is coming out when people are talking about AEW looking at a potential of $110 million per year for a 5-year contract. Next one here. This is also funny. The ownership, the entitlement that these people have. You've got this person saying Edge, as in Adam Copeland, Jericho, and Danielson. He calls Danielson okay. All have the freedom to do whatever they want. How's that working out? Well, you've seen amazing stuff from Danielson. Jericho is still relevant now in his age, and still able to move quite well. Adam Copeland has been doing a great job as the TNT champion and put on a great show at the pay-per-view. Did he get injured? Okay, he did. But he certainly came back from that neck injury really well, and he's been enjoying himself, and he's been appreciated at AEW. How's that working out? It's working out great because the people that they are entertaining, us, are having a fucking blast. And more importantly is that they're happy. They're enjoying themselves. Why would they want to work with a company that stifles their creativity, their character development, for whatever petty reason? Tony Khan gives them a lot of freedom. Does he, book things? Of course. But he gives the wrestlers much more freedom. And you see this with the way that they are. John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, is a totally different person now in AEW. You can tell that he's enjoying himself. Do you really want ownership and entitlement over somebody's feelings and their enjoyment? Really? Why can't you just let these people have fun however they choose? If they want to go Matt Cardona style and just stay in the indies and stuff, and that's what they enjoy, and they can live a life that way and maintain relevancy, who the fuck are you to fucking dictate that shit? It's disgusting. Next up here, another comment towards Adam Copeland. Let's find that one. There we go. This account actually, and you take a look at the name, @lifer_WWE. Some of the dumbest takes showing up on my timeline with this motherfucker. So stupid. In fact, I think he replied to me actually on one of the things that triggered him. Is like, maybe jumping off a fucking steel cage at 50 wasn't the smart move, Adam. Well, that sort of was that's kind of what he said in the video that he made. So he kind of is admitting that. But he, maybe it is the cost of things. But this is the whole, like, rubbing it in. Like, oh, but how many other wrestlers have, again, younger wrestlers even, gotten injured, especially the routine that WWE keeps up with, really pushing them, where they get injured. Where's the same criticism there? There isn't. Next up here. Well, I'll just show this because... Oh, shout out to Darth Bullsey in the chat. But I was going to talk about this quickly. Had it in the wrong spot, so I didn't show it when I could have earlier. But, yeah, so Will Ospreay has actually shown some of their videos and such. And, again, I thought this was perfect, too, because, again, winning the International Championship title... again, it's in its name, to go to other nations. And, it's inevitable that we're going to see Ospreay there wrestle and with his title and everything. And it will bring exposure to AEW as well as, soft ground wrestling in Uganda because it's basically, sort of highlighting the love of wrestling in places that aren't as fortunate as we are here. And I think that will be a positive thing for AEW, for Will Ospreay, and for softground wrestling. And, it inspires me that that these people are inspired through wrestling. So, next up, yeah, Bullsey, you didn't call in last time, but you said that you were interested in letting me know your thoughts on why you don't like AEW and why you prefer WWE. So if you want to call in, I encourage you to do so. You can do so through the StreamYard's link that I put in earlier. You could just call me on Skype if you want that, or we could do it through Discord, because we certainly allow for many communication methods here. Let's Twitter timeline, and this shit's fucking so funny. Oh, I forgot about this one. Nice. Hold on, is there any more before then? No. There we go. So, a screen transfer you. All right, so Cry Harder Mark was this person. Again, they've got a trans flag there, so make what you will. Let's see what it was exactly that I responded to. I think this was the court case. Why wouldn't it show them? There we go. All right, so Smart Mark Sterling made this comment. Any charges, quality representation matters. I said, this is true, and it's also funny. But wrestling is less rigged than that farce of a trial. Where's the lies? Where are the lies detected? There aren't any. It's the absolute fact. It's the truth. And again, if people don't understand the far-reaching ramifications of what occurred with that conviction, you're not prepared for what's coming. You really aren't. If you do not see this encroachment upon everyone's rights as how it will dictate the future with precedents, I don't know what to say. I don't think I can help you. But that's the truth. So, again, cry harder, Mark. So am I a mark for Trump or am I a mark for wrestling? Kind of am for wrestling, but I mean, so what's it saying? Whatever, fag flag. I'm just speaking facts without emotion. Speaking facts without emotion is not crying. I'm Canadian. I have no dog in the fight. I'm just calling it as I see it. God bless. And I knew this was going to trigger this person because, again, they're evil. That flag determines evil. It's just the truth because here's the response. Congratulations on seeing it wrong then. Hashtag Satan bless. So clearly that triggered them and it showed that who the real God is and who they worship. But I was not surprised, obviously. But again, congrats on seeing it wrong. So this person has no knowledge of how laws work, or they just wanted a conviction so that the bad orange man who said mean things on Twitter could satisfy their hate towards their absent father. Is that what they're saying? I think so. Next. So yeah, that's what they said there. Couple of people liked my comment, but there seems to be a lot more idiots that currently watch wrestling right now than those that watch wrestling and aren't stupid. So this guy clip, take a salt tablet, and I replied to that. It was true, credit where it's due. It's a better insult than most people have provided so far, and that is, factual. But the next stuff is where it gets good. All right, so this one guy, I'm wondering if he actually, maybe he did hide it. Let's see here. It must have been. Yeah. Okay, because I was replying. Yeah, he must have hidden me. So it was in reply to. Oh yeah, so he said this, right? CM Punch coverage is his name. So I again, that was the comment that I made to Mark Sterling, which was wrestling is less rigged than that farce of a trial. So this fucking loser replies, and hear me out, because he's so witty there, he's a felon. We already talked about, how felons can be elected. But he must have. I'm going to have to look this up. But I can guarantee that if it's not showing up, because, again, he is on my notice because he was replying to me, as we can see right there. He did do that. Must have seen what I wrote, I guess. Says he's a fan. I won't block you. I'll mute you so you can frantically and furiously respond and drive up my engagements without me hearing a single word. But I never did. That's the thing. All I did was screen capture his tweet. And then I put, or I won't reply to a bitch who muted me, yet still expose you for the bitch-ass pussy you are. Also, the law allows for felons to run for the presidency of the United States of America. Hashtag don't hate the player, hate the game, which is true. So you can't really say shit about anything, really. And again, this is the level of quality of wrestling fans out there. Mark, or not, things need to be called out. And yeah, I got a few responses here, and I said, yeah, I'm definitely going to bring this up on the podcast. Bullsy in the chat says, We did have a discussion about that on my channel, but it's hard to prefer over AEW because H and Tony love long matches, which are snooze fests. Plus, it's more dislikable that I guess than WWE. Because they have a probable Satanist running creative. You never know. All right, so there was even more. This guy was so stupid. It was just so funny. Again, ignorance in the law and me concerned with the judicial system, not just in Canada, but in the United States because of the precedents it says, is not supporting Trump in any direct way. Because, again, I'm more concerned about the system, because if they're willing to do that to him with the protections that he's already established around himself, what does the common folk even stand a chance, right? Same things happened with Canada. They froze people's bank accounts because they chose to show up to a rally in any which way. It could have been somebody who was local, just decided to show up with a sign saying, I support you, or here's some soup, or whatever. They had their bank accounts frozen. So don't fucking tell me that it's not important that the justice system has been basically weaponized against the citizenry. Now, let's see here. Yeah, so this guy's an idiot. I got a notification. I don't know what that's about. Oh, yeah, this guy. Because he's like, lol, this guy. So it was just a reply to my message to Mark Sterling. So this guy's at Matt at Pop Vinyls. Funko and wrestling figures. That already sounds quite gay. But all I did was state the truth, people. That's all I did. This is literally the truth. Wrestling is less rigged. We know it's rigged. But it's less rigged than that fucking farce of a trial. I said nothing fucking wrong. But yeah, this guy's like, lol, this guy. I didn't say anything that wasn't funny. But it was true. But, okay, so this one's like, I knew you would be one. I knew there would be one. So obviously somebody calling out the farce trial. Again, so many leftists watch wrestling. It's fucking weird. So obviously you didn't pay attention to the trial. I looked at the evidence. That's what you got to do. I also looked at the corruption of the judge, of the system that disallowed the trial to move to a different location, the biases that were shown by those that were selected for jury. You know, you look at the evidence. There was no doubt he committed crimes. Then he goes on, it's like, oh, his bio says pure blood. So he's looking at my actual bio. That's the thing. You know these people who aren't just like, somebody said something stupid on the internet, just reply with a nice flippant remark, and that's that. They're like, no, I got to learn more about this guy. He hurt my sensibilities. And then they look in the bio. It's like, he says pure blood. Absolutely. I didn't take the jabby jab. Okay. And he's like, we're not dealing with an intelligent human here. That's funny because Fauci's been coming out and stating things that were the opposite of what he initially said a while ago. So, and the proof that's out there. So I think I was quite intelligent when it came to avoiding that sort of thing. But yeah, again, this is the quality of people that we're currently dealing with here on the internet. Darth Bullseye says, Dave, what makes you think they know what the trial is about? Leftists have zero observation skills. That's very true. Told what to think. They have no discernibility when it comes to fact and fiction. No critical thinking to be able to determine what's true. I replied to one guy, I called him pelotudo imbécil. Okay, a nice robust Spanish insult. Moron imbecile, I guess, would be the best way to reply or to translate. But did this guy block me? Did he block me? Oh, look, he's got a rainbow. Oh. Also got a Discord. Go check them out. But where was my... Yeah, come on. There we go. So, this is the dumbest tweet. Look at this take. So, last night, and now Trump was found guilty of all charges. Her power. What? Trump said, "Oh, Mexicans are racist." Well, no, he didn't actually. They say, "Oh, did you pay attention to the trial?" Yeah. Did you pay attention to the entire clip in context rather than all these clips that the media decides to show to totally twist the story, as we've seen in the past countless times? No. So I just call him a pelotudo imbécil. And his reply, beautiful reply, he's like, "Okay, Trump fan." Oh, God, guys. I think I'm going to stop right there, Just stop doing podcasts now because he called me a Trump fan. And I mean, like, who would want to be a fan of somebody that brought economic prosperity, respect throughout the world, low gas prices, food prices, and so forth, not been engaged in potential nuclear war with Russia? Who would want to be a fan of that? So again, I remind people that we're not dealing with intelligent people where they didn't send their best, let's say. But I thought that was quite comical regardless, and that is a joy that I do have when it comes to this show, is to highlight how fucking stupid these e-drones are, and the bullshit that they actually say, because sometimes you have to see it to believe it. You can't just say, "Oh, well, I can imagine that." No, see how dumb they are when they write this shit. Certainly blows mine. Darth Bully says, "I might call in a moment." Excellent. I would like to hear some discussions. And yes, granted, we discussed this on your show, but I think, our viewers sort of overlap. But regardless, here's another opportunity to, state your views. But A. Bowers, a wrestling fan, 1994, says in the chat, "Did you see that girl-on-girl kiss on AEW with Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May? I didn't watch it, but I've seen Mina post that part of her on her Instagram." Yes, quite hot. And yeah, they're both from Stardom. They both have that knowledge and history of each other, and they look good doing it. They certainly do. I think Mariah May might be the most physically attractive female in the AEW roster. But that's not to say that there aren't a lot in the AEW roster that aren't attractive, because it's the division's stacked. They're fucking beautiful, and they can move, and very talented. So they got the whole package there. So yeah, we got to the end of the comments there, and I had to share them. That is at least a partial highlight for me when I do this show every week, is to just, again, show you people what I'm seeing, because it's fucking insane. Mariah May is money, says King Meow Meow. Yes, and also if you actually are paying attention, because it's more than just speaking for 30 minutes on Raw. It's a backstage promo that might be 5 minutes long, and you have two things going on. You've got Toni Storm talking to the camera, saying she's great and so forth, while Mariah May is holding the title and looking at it, with great interest, telling us that she is going to go for on the Skypes. So Skype wants to respond here. Let me know who's calling. That'd be great. Oh. Fucking Skype now. There we go. I don't know who this is. Oh, I think this is Bullseye. Hello?
Oh, yeah, this is me.
It is you. Okay, your name,
Oh,
I didn't recognize.
You hear me? Yeah, I should probably change my name back to just Bullseye, but anyway.
What's up?
Yeah, I know you want to talk pro wrestling, and I will get to that. I like the fact that you're pointing out, I already brought this to you, the leftists are pretty much like cultists at this point. Like,
Interesting take. I mean,
right? Yeah. So
there's certain symbolism
yeah,
that's
I mean,
used, but I can't say that everyone
atheism is
there is
just
a
another way.
Satanist.
Well, atheism is just a form of Satanism. It's just the people trying to sound different anyway. Anyway, like Hitler was considered an atheist, and he was doing satanic rituals during the time when he was running. So yeah, it is. But anyway, since we're talking about pro wrestling, honestly, like right now, I don't really see much of a difference between WWE and AEW right now because when I look at WWE and AEW, it's the same booking mentality I see from both Tony and Triple H. So I don't know what I
agree
mean.
with that. I can't because I don't think that I can't see them as being equivalent. Maybe you're disappointing. Like you look at both of them, and you're like, yeah, I don't like either. That's understandable, but like I just can't equate what WWE does to what AEW does. You know, like sports, sports entertainment, production value and stuff. Obviously, WWE's got their hand on that when it comes to their wrestling. Is quite clear on how they do that. That's why I go through the number of minutes that are wrestled every week because it really speaks a lot to what each company is doing. Either it's focusing on talking and sports entertainment and pyro and shit, or it's focusing on wrestling. And we've seen WWE improve in certain aspects and then go down again. But, again, featuring more wrestling than just talking. But that is the clear line between pro wrestling and sports entertainment, the amount of time that's wrestled on the show.
Perhaps you're right about that. But every time I tune in, they both seem to love wrestling, pro wrestling matches as well, just as much as Tony Khan. Maybe not as much wrestling, but Triple H is certainly trying to fill the time with promos and wrestling. Like I said before, NXT Black and Gold for Triple H was based on like long work rate matches where guys were like putting on like 5-star bangers. Like that was hinged on Triple H trying to put on the best shows like that. And Tony Khan followed that as well. Both have the same booking mentality of trying to cater to people who love that kind of stick of wrestling. Triple H loves that too, and he's trying to integrate that onto his shows more. You definitely see it. I do say Tony Khan is arguably a better booker than Triple H because Triple H has the benefit of production and the long-term company that was running for 50 years. But either way, I don't see a real difference.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with the booking aspect of.
And I agree with that. For example, Triple H plays a lot of favorites. That's what I really noticed with him. Like he favors a lot of his black and gold talents back in the day, like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and he was allowing him to dress like a transvestite during his run up to WrestleMania 40, if you caught any of that at all.
Well,
it was probably the most embarrassing thing about that. He was a world champion, and he was.
Somebody could argue potentially that Tony Khan has also been that way. I'd have to argue against that, but I can see
to be fair,
people would have said that. I think I've seen that actually, to be quite honest.
I've seen that how he treated Wardlow, but that's about it. Tony Khan making, I don't know if this is true or not, but there was a photo op of Wardlow wearing a tank top to a wrestling ring or a bra. I'm not sure if that on Twitter. I don't know if you can clarify that to be a real thing that happened.
I don't know. Are you saying that Tony had an issue with that? Because Tony has gays and lesbians and trannies.
No, they're saying
all that non-binary.
No, I'm thinking like Tony. People were saying Tony Khan had an issue with Wardlow. Things I've seen, but I don't know if this was. But he had a bra to a ring, and that I don't know if that was even a real thing. Now that it was just a rumor that Tony Khan had issues with Wardlow, but nobody really elaborated on it. It was just a speculation from what they were seeing from it.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about it either because you watched the product a lot more than I have.
I don't remember that.
So when I see something like that, I can't really say Tony Khan is as bad as Triple H because I haven't kept up with the product since 2022. And when I tune in now, it's kind of the same thing. It's just a much different atmosphere now. And I won't say Tony Khan's worse than before. He's similar than he was before. Nothing's really changed. So it kind of just amazes me that JD is shitting on the product when there's nothing different about it. So like, what are you saying so wrong with it?
JD's takes this past week have also been fucking
JD,
stupid.
so you know,
he's
JD,
trying to warm up to AEW again, and his types where they make headlines, which are like to garner some sort of reaction, and it's all bullshit.
yeah. And JD's a grifter. That's just the end of the day. He'll say
That's the
one
best
thing
way
and
to
say
describe
another.
him.
He's a big hypocrite. That's it. There are people who are always shitting on him for it, and he actually shits on his own fan base and bad him. I remember him in the I don't recall what the exact person was, but somebody shaved their head to support their family members for having cancer, and JD got pissed off about that, and he mocked it, and he got heat for it, and JD was doubling down immensely, being like, "I didn't do anything wrong." It's like, dude,
Sounds like JD.
you messed up. It's okay. You're a human being. But he was too fucking egotistical to even admit that he did something wrong.
Yeah.
It was that bad. He was shaming his own fan base, even like.
Oh, he's done that in the past, and then he blocks people. that
I
he
mean, it's
supposedly
pretty obvious. What is his name again? Colt Cabana, right?
Yeah.
He was like, he shares with a bank account with his mother. Like, why are you saying this on air? Like, listen, you can just like AEW, but there's a thing called being observant and knowing what you're saying. CM Punk, like literally Perry, and AEW's the bad people. I don't see how this even works. And the worst thing about it is CM Punk goes to a podcast and talks about his issues with AEW, says things that people already know, but lies at the same time saying, well, I just choked him a little.
Yeah.
You did more. Looks like you're acting all like schizophrenic over there. Like it's trying to attack certain people, not just Jack Perry. Looked like you almost tried to punch him. And then it looks like he tried to lunge at someone else. So he seemed like unhinged right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, I thought I would just share that.
That was a great point that I'd overlooked.
Anyway,
But,
I'm going to let you back to the... for having me on. You too.
All right, there goes. It's Bullsy, and be sure to check him out on his channel. Several shows that he discusses certain things, including wrestling and politics. Always intriguing combination, as we previously discussed on this show. But we've been going on for quite some time, about